Good morning, all of you. I completed the length and types of transition curve in the last session. Okay, today I'll proceeding with the next topic, that's design of vertical alignment. Design of vertical alignment. What do you mean by vertical alignment? Okay, the vertical alignment is the elevation or profile of the center line of the road. Is it clear? Okay, vertical alignment is the profile of the center line of the road. Profile of the center line of the road, that is called vertical alignment. Or you can say the elevation of the center line of the road, that is called vertical alignment. The vertical alignment includes two elements. Okay, number one, it is gradient, and number two, it is vertical curves. Okay, the vertical alignment includes two elements. One, it is gradient, another one, it is vertical curve. Okay, then what do you mean by gradient and what do you mean by vertical curves? Is it clear? The gradient is the rate of rise or fall along the length of the road with respect to horizontal. Okay, the gradient is the rate of rise or fall along the length of the road with respect to horizontal, that is called gradient. Then what about vertical curves? Okay, particularly in order to have a smooth vehicular movements on the road, the change in gradient will be smoothened out, okay, by introducing the vertical curve. Is it clear? The curve which smoothen out the changes in gradient, that is called vertical curves. Is it clear? The curve which smoothen out the change in gradient for smoother movement of the vehicles, that is called a vertical curves. Is it clear? Means these are the two elements of a vertical alignment. Okay, I will take up one by one. First I will take up gradient. Gradient. Okay, as I discussed earlier, the gradient is the rate of rise or fall along the length of the road with respect to horizontal. Okay, it is the rate of rise or fall along the length of road, with respect to horizontal, that is called gradient. The rate of rise or fall along the length of the road with respect to horizontal, that is called gradient. Usually the gradient will be expressed in the ratio of 1 in x, where 1 vertical to x horizontal. The gradient will be expressed in terms of ratio, that is 1 in x, where 1 vertical to x horizontal. 1 in x indicates 1 vertical to x horizontal, and the gradient is also expressed in terms of percentage, say n percentage. That is n vertical to x horizontal units, that is 100 horizontal units. In terms of n percentage, no, that is n vertical to 100 horizontal units. That is, it will use in terms of percentage. Is it clear? Okay, the gradient can be expressed in terms of ratio, that is 1 in x, that is 1 vertical to x horizontal. Also, the gradient can be expressed in terms of percentage, that is n percentage. Is it clear? Okay, if you move on to the types of gradient, Okay, basically there are about 4 types of gradients. The first one, it is ruling gradient. Second one, it is limiting gradient. Third one, it is exceptional gradient. And fourth one, it is minimum gradient. Minimum gradient. Okay, these are the 4 types of gradient. First one rolling gradient, second one is limiting gradient, third one it is exceptional gradient, fourth one it is minimum gradient. Okay. The first one, it is rolling gradient, no? Rolling gradient. Okay. The rolling gradient is the maximum gradient with which the designer attempts to design the vertical profile of a road. Is it clear? The rolling gradient is the maximum gradient with which a designer is attempt to design the vertical profile of a road. Is it clear? The IRC recommended values of rolling gradients are for plain and rolling terrain. For plain and rolling terrain, it is 1 in 30, means for 30 horizontal distance 1 meter vertical. Okay, that is the rolling gradient for plain and rolling terrain. For mountainous terrain, the rolling gradient is about 1 in 20. The rolling gradient is about 1 in 20, means 20 meter horizontal distance to 1 meter vertical. And for steep terrain, this is about 1 in 16.7. 1 in 16.7. That is for 16.7 horizontal distance 1 meter vertical. Okay, this is regarding the rolling gradient. Okay, the rolling gradient is the maximum gradient with which the designer attempts to design the vertical profile of a road. Okay, the IRC recommended values for rolling gradients are for plain and rolling it is 1 in 30, for mountainous terrain it is 1 in 20, and for steep terrain it is 1 in 16.7. Okay, this is regarding the rolling gradient. Okay, next it is limiting gradient. The second one, it is limiting gradient. Limiting gradient. In some stretches of road that compels adopting steeper gradient than the rolling gradient, particularly on the rolling terrain and the hill roads, frequently they may need to change the gradient steeper than the rolling gradient. Is it clear? Okay, in such case, okay, they are going to adopt limiting gradient. Is it clear? Means in some circumstances or in some stretches of roads, okay, that compels to adopting the steeper gradients than the rolling gradients, particularly on rolling terrains and hill roads, it may be frequent to change the gradient or to provide the gradient steeper than the rolling gradient. In that case, they are going to provide the limiting gradient. Is it clear? And usually the limiting gradients are separated by a level roads. Separated by a level roads or the slightly upward gradient or slightly downward gradients. Okay, and the limiting gradients are not provided continuously. Usually the limiting gradients are separated out by a level gradient or the slightly upward or slightly downward gradients. Is it clear? And the IRC recommended values for the limiting gradients are for plain and rolling terrain. For plain and rolling terrain, it is 1 in 20 meter horizontal to 1 meter vertical. For mountainous terrain, it is 1 in 16.7, means for 16.7 horizontal distance 1 meter vertical. And for steep terrain, it is 1 in 14.3, means for 14.3 horizontal distance 1 meter vertical. Okay, this is regarding the second type of gradient, that is limiting gradient. Okay, the next it is exceptional gradient. Number 3, it is exceptional gradient. Okay, in some stretches of roads it is unavoidable. Okay, in some stretches of road it may be unavoidable to provide still steeper gradients than the limiting gradients. In some stretches of roads or in some site conditions, okay, it may be unavoidable to provide steeper gradients than the limiting gradients, that is an exceptional gradient, particularly in extraordinary situations. In extraordinary situations, it may be unavoidable to provide steeper gradients than the limiting gradients, particularly for the short stretches of road. Okay, that is called exceptional gradient. Okay, and this exceptional gradient will be limited for only for short stretches of road, usually, okay, not more than 100 meter at a stretch. Okay, these are the gradient which is steeper than the limiting gradient. Particularly in unavoidable circumstances, they are going to provide steeper gradients than the limiting gradients for short stretches of road, that is a exceptional gradient. Okay, usually the exceptional gradient they are going to provide, okay, less than 100 meter at a stretch. Okay, and the IRC recommended values for exceptional gradients are for plain and rolling terrain, it is about 1 in 15. For plain and rolling terrain, it is 1 in 15. For 15 meter horizontal, 1 meter vertical. And for mountainous terrain, it is 1 in 14.3. For 14.3 meter horizontal distance, 1 meter vertical. And for steep terrain, it is 1 in 12.5. Is it clear? For 12.5 horizontal distance, 1 meter vertical. Okay, this is regarding the third type of gradient, that is exceptional gradient. Okay, next, the fourth one, it is minimum gradient. Okay, even the road surface is on the level land. Means is on zero gradient. Okay, there should be a minimum gradient to drain off the surface water. Okay, even though the road is constructed on the level road or the zero gradient, okay, you need to provide a minimum gradient in the longitudinal direction and also in the transverse direction to drain off the surface water. Okay, usually the minimum gradient of 1 in 400 is preferred, okay, in the open drains. Is preferred for the open drains, okay, when the road surface is on level road or on zero gradient. Okay, suppose for that road surface they are going to build the longitudinal drains on either side with the help of concrete. Okay, for the concrete drains the minimum gradient is about 1 in 500. 1 in 500. Okay, suppose the drainage is provided with the help of inferior materials, is not made up of superior materials. Okay, if the drainage was constructed with the help of inferior materials, means low quality materials, if that is the case, the minimum gradient they are going to provide it is 1 in 200. For 200 meter horizontal distance, 1 meter vertical when you having the inferior materials. And when you having the soil drains, that is kacha drain, when we having the soil drains on either side of the road, that is called kacha drains, in that is the case we are going to provide still steeper gradients, okay, that is 1 in 100. That is 1 in 100 for 100 meter horizontal distance, 1 meter vertical. Okay, this is regarding the minimum gradient, means even the surface of the road is on the level ground, okay, regarding the drainage condition, okay, you need to provide the minimum gradient on the road stretches. Okay, usually 1 in 400 is preferable in most of the cases for the open drains, okay, and for concrete drains it is 1 in 500, and if the drains were made up of are constructed with the help of inferior materials, then it is 1 in 200, and if the drains are constructed with the help of soil, only soil materials are, that is called soil drains, in that is the case, okay, you are going to provide 1 in 100 as the minimum gradient. Okay, this is regarding the types of gradients. Okay, the next it is grade compensation. Grade compensation. Okay, it is very simple. The reduction in gradient, okay, along the horizontal curves, okay, that is nothing but a grade compensation. Is it clear? Okay, to reduce the extra tractive effort on the curves, okay, they are going to reduce the gradient, that is called grade compensation. The reduction in the gradient along the horizontal curve, that is a grade compensation. Is it clear? Okay, usually the grade compensation will be expressed in terms of percentage. Okay, that will be calculated by a formula. It is grade compensation in terms of percentage is equal to 30 plus R divided by R. 30 plus R divided by R. Okay, where R is the radius of the curve. Where R is the radius of the circular curve, and this will be subjected to maximum percentage of compensation. It is about 75 by R. Okay, whatever the grade compensation we get from this equation 30 plus R divided by R, no, that is subject to a maximum compensation of 75 by R. Okay, if the grade compensation exceeds 75 by R in this equation 30 plus R divided by R, then you are going to limit the grade compensation to the 75 by R only. Is it clear? Okay, this is regarding the grade compensation. This is regarding the grade compensation. We have a numerical problem on grade compensation, is very simple, and that type of numerical problems usually they are asked in your competitive exams. It's very simple problem. Okay, next I'll move on to the numerical problems on grade compensation. The first problem, First problem it is, while aligning a hill road with a ruling gradient of 6%, a horizontal curve of radius 60 meter is encountered. Find the grade compensation and the compensated gradient at the curve. It's very simple problem. Okay, first write down the given data. What they given? They given the ruling gradient. They given a ruling gradient. Ruling gradient. It's about 6%, and they given radius of the horizontal curve, that is R. They are given 60 meter. They are given radius of horizontal curve, that is R is equal to 60 meter. Is it clear? Okay, then go for solution. Solution. We have grade compensation is equal to 30 plus R divided by R. Okay, that is equal to R is 60, no? Then 30 plus 60 divided by 60, sorry, 90 by 60, you may get 1.5. Okay, this is equal to 1.5 percentage. This is equal to 1.5 percentage. Okay, because the grade compensation, this is in terms of percentage, no? You may get 90 divided by 60, 1.5 percentage. Okay, what is the maximum grade compensation? Maximum grade compensation is equal to 75 by R. That is equal to 75 by 60. 75 by 60, you may get about 1.25%. 1.25%. Observe the grade compensation and the maximum grade compensation. So, okay, maximum grade compensation is about 1.25%, but your grade compensation is about 1.5%. Okay, in no case your grade compensation should not exceed your maximum grade compensation of about 1.25%. That is 75 by R. No, you may get 1.25%. Then you are going to limit the grade compensation to the 1.25% only. Okay, therefore grade compensation is equal to 1.25%. Therefore, grade compensation is equal to 1.25%. Is it clear? And what they are asking? The compensated gradient of the curve. Okay, you may get the grade compensation about 1.25%. No, then they are asking you to the compensated gradient. Okay, usually initially the gradient of the horizontal curve is about 6%. That is ruling gradient. Okay, and to reduce the tractive effort, that is extra tractive effort at the horizontal curve, okay, they are going to provide the grade compensation. No, okay, is very simple. The compensation gradient is nothing but ruling gradient minus, okay, grade compensation. You may get the compensated gradient. Okay, compensated gradient is equal to ruling gradient minus grade compensation. Ruling gradient minus grade compensation. Okay, this will about 6 minus 1.25. Okay, you may get 4.75%. 4.75% is the compensated gradient. Compensated gradient. Okay, you may observe here, initially the horizontal curve having a ruling gradient of 6%. okay, but now it is 4.75%, means you are going to easier the gradient. You are going to easier the gradient. The easing of the gradient on the horizontal curve, that is the grade compensation. Is it clear? Okay, for this problem they are asking two things. One is the grade compensation, and one is the compensated gradient. The grade compensation is about 1.25% and the compensated gradient is about 4.75%. Okay, this is regarding the numerical on grade compensation. Okay, next I'll move on to the vertical curves. If we move on to the vertical curves, it's very simple. The curves which is provided or which is introduced between the two different gradients to smoothen out the vertical profile of the road, that is the vertical curves. Is it clear? Means in order to have a smooth movement of vehicles on the road surface, the change in gradient will be smoothened out by the introduction of vertical curve. Okay, so assume that this one of the gradient and another one it is this gradient. Here is the change in gradient. Okay, this change in gradient will be smoothened out by the introduction of vertical curve. See here, like this. Okay, if you have the gradient, downward gradient followed by upward gradient, okay, here is the change in gradient, no? Okay, in this case is not possible, okay, for a smooth movement of the vehicles. Okay, if that is the case, they are going to smoothen out this change in gradient. They are going to smoothen out this change in gradient by the introduction of vertical curves. Okay, then only there will be a smooth movement of vehicles on the road surface. Is it clear? Okay, this is regarding the vertical curves. Usually there are two types of vertical curves. Okay, the first one it is summit curve, or we call it as crest curve. Crest curves with convexity upwards. Okay, don't confuse with the concavity and convexity. Okay, if you have the curve like this is convexity and this is concavity. Okay, if the convexity upwards like this, then it is summit curve or crest curve. If the concavity upwards like this, okay, this is concavity. If the concavity upwards, then it is vertical curve, that too a valley curve or sag curve. Okay, the first one it is summit curve or crest curve. Second one it is valley curves or sag curves. Valley curve or sag curves with concavity upwards. Is it clear? Okay, this is regarding the types of vertical curve. Okay, I'll take up the types of vertical curves one by one. Okay, in each types of vertical curves there are about 4 cases. Okay, if you consider the first one, summit curves or crest curves with convexity upwards. Okay, case number A, this is case number B, and case number C, this is case number D. Okay, plus N1 plus N2 means upward gradient followed by upward gradient, means in this point at the intersection of two different gradients, both are positive gradients only, both are upward gradients only. Okay, and we know that the deviation angle n, the deviation angle n, capital N, is the algebraic difference between the two intersecting gradients. The deviation angle n is the algebraic difference between the two intersecting gradients. Okay, for the first case you may observe, okay, the upward gradient plus n1 percentage followed by upward gradient plus n2 percentage. Okay, if that is the case, the deviation angle is how much? It's plus n1, and its algebraic difference means minus plus n2. Okay, minus into plus you may get minus only, it becomes n1 minus n2. N is equal to n1 minus n2 is the deviation angle for the case number A. Okay, when upward gradient followed by upward gradient. But in the second case it is okay, upward gradient followed by a level gradient, upward gradient followed by a level gradient, because here the surface is level. Okay, for the level gradient, okay, the gradient will be 0, no, that's why n2 is equal to 0. Okay, if that is the case, okay, it is very simple, the deviation angle n is equal to n1. The deviation angle n is equal to n1. Is it clear? And third case, it is upward gradient followed by downward gradient. Upward gradient followed by downward gradient. If this is the case, okay, upward gradient followed by downward gradient, that is plus n1 percentage meets with minus n2 percentage. If that is the case, the deviation angle n is equal to, it's very simple, observe here, n is equal to plus n1 minus of minus n2, because downward gradient, no, minus into minus we get plus, then it becomes n1 plus n2. Okay, for the summit curve, the deviation angle will be maximum when the ascending gradient followed by descending gradient, we can call as upward gradient followed by downward gradient. Okay, usually for upward gradient we call as ascending gradient, and for the downward gradient we call as descending gradient. Okay, for this case it is n1 plus n2, n1 plus n2. Okay, for the ascending gradient followed by descending gradient, okay, the deviation angle will be maximum for the summit curve. Okay, and fourth case, it is downward gradient followed by downward gradient, that is descending gradient followed by descending gradient. If that is the case, that is minus n1 followed by minus n2, minus n1 followed by minus n2. If that is the case, okay, the deviation angle n is equal to, okay, observe, n is equal to minus n1 and it is descending gradient, no, minus of minus n2, then you get minus n1, because it is minus into minus plus, no, plus n2, this becomes n2 minus n1. Okay, this becomes n2 minus n1. For the fourth case, the deviation angle is equal to n2 minus n1. Okay, this is regarding the 4 different cases of summit curve. Is it clear? Okay, next I'll move on to the valley curves or sag curves. In the sag curves also there are about 4 different cases. Number 2, valley curves or sag curves. Okay, here we know that the concavity upwards, in the summit curve it is convexity upwards, here concavity upwards. Okay, the first case it is minus n1 minus n2. That is downward gradient followed by downward gradient, that is the first case. Second case it is downward gradient followed by a level gradient. Downward gradient followed by a level gradient, that is minus n1 followed by level gradient n2 is equal to 0. Then third case it is downward gradient followed by upward gradient. Downward gradient followed by upward gradient, that is minus n1 followed by plus n2. That is the third case. And fourth case it is upward gradient plus n1 followed by plus n2. Upward gradient followed by upward gradient. That is the fourth case. D. Okay. And you know that deviation angle is the algebraic difference between two intersecting gradients. Okay. For the first case, the deviation angle n is equal to what? Minus n1 minus n2, no? That is n is equal to minus n1 minus of minus n2. It becomes minus n1 plus n2, that is equal to n2 minus n1. Okay, you may get deviation angle n2 minus n1. n2 minus n1 is the deviation angle for the first case. And for the second case, okay, when a descending gradient followed by a level gradient, if that is the case, okay, it's very simple. Okay, n is equal to minus n1. N is equal to minus n1 because n2 is equal to 0, no? Okay, and third case, that is descending gradient followed by ascending gradient. If that is the case, the deviation angle n is equal to, okay, you may observe it is minus n1 minus of plus n2. Okay, you may get minus n1 minus into plus minus, it is minus n2. You may take minus common, that is n1 plus n2. Okay, here minus of n1 plus n2 is the deviation angle. And for the valley curve, the deviation angle will be maximum when descending gradient followed by ascending gradient. Means for the third case, the deviation angle will be maximum for valley curve. Okay, and for the fourth case, ascending gradient followed by ascending gradient, if that is the case, the deviation angle n is equal to what? It is n is equal to plus n1 minus of plus n2. It becomes minus into plus, it is minus only, then it becomes n1 minus n2, then becomes n1 minus n2. This is n1 minus n2. Okay, this is regarding the 4 different cases of valley curve or sag curves with concavity upwards. Is it clear? Okay, this is regarding the types of vertical curves. Okay.